All right, so today we're jumping into a revolution, and I mean a real one. It's rewriting the entire rulebook for how music gets made, all from a single line of text. This is the wild world of AI music, and it's forcing this massive conversation about tech, about copyright, and, what it even means to be an artist anymore. So let me ask you this. What if you could write a legit, ready-to-go hit song in the next minute? Yeah, 60 seconds. This isn't some sci-fi fantasy, it's what platforms like Suno and Udio are promising right now. You can literally create a full studio-quality track in less time than it takes to make a cup of coffee. And that is forcing everyone in the music industry to face some incredibly tough questions. Okay, so how does this magic trick actually work? I mean, how do you go from just text to a full-blown track? Let's break it down. Seriously, it is this simple. You just type in a vibe, maybe a genre, a theme, whatever's in your head, and a few minutes later, boom, the AI spits out a completely produced song. The speed is just insane, and it's basically blowing up the old, slow, expensive studio model. But honestly, it's the quality of the output that's got everyone's head spinning. And when I say the quality is good, I mean, check this out. A recent study found that 97%, let that sink in, 97% of people could not tell the difference between a song made by a human and one made by AI. So this isn't just some cute little toy anymore. The tech has gotten so good that to most ears, it sounds just as real as anything on the radio. But, and this is a huge but, that incredible quality comes with a pretty heavy price tag. And this gets us right to the heart of the whole debate. How did the AI get so smart? Well, the answer is in its training data. And that, my friends, is where the lawyers get involved. So, to learn how to make music, these AI models basically listen to, well, everything. They analyze millions and millions of songs. The huge problem here? A ton of that music is copyrighted, and the AI companies didn't ask for permission, and they certainly didn't pay for it. We're talking about what some people are calling the biggest copyright heist in history, and it has pretty much every major record label suing them. Now, the AI companies have a defense. They say, hey, this is just like a human artist learning from their heroes. Like a guitarist listening to Hendrix to pick up some licks. But the US Copyright Office, they see it very differently. They point out a crucial difference. When a human learns, we get these imperfect impressions. It's all filtered through our own experiences and memories. In AI, though, it makes perfect copies of the songs to learn the patterns. And that distinction between an imperfect impression and a perfect copy is everything in the eyes of the law. And that distinction, it's a direct shot at the AI company's biggest legal shield, the idea of fair use. See, an analysis of that Copyright Office report basically said that since the AI is spitting out music that directly competes with the stuff it was trained on, its use is, at best, modestly transformative. And that phrase, modestly transformative, is a huge, huge blow to their whole argument that this is all legal. So forget the lawyers and the courtrooms for a second. Let's talk about the people actually making the music. For artists, for songwriters, for producers who have poured their entire lives into their craft. This isn't some abstract legal argument. It's an existential threat. And they are worried. A recent survey found that nearly 4 out of 5, that's almost 80% of music creators, are concerned about AI music taking their place. And what's really interesting is that number is actually going up as more people learn how this stuff actually works. So what are they actually afraid of? Well, when you drill down, it's a few key things. 70% say it threatens their ability to make a living. I mean, that's the bottom line. But it goes deeper. 64% are worried about a loss of genuine creativity in music. And over half are just worried that streaming platforms are about to be flooded with an endless ocean of generic, soulless AI tracks. And look, this isn't some hypothetical what-if scenario anymore. It's happening. The power to create unlimited music has already been weaponized for some pretty serious crimes, and the court cases are piling up with millions and millions of dollars at stake. Take a look at this number, $8,091,843. That's how much one guy had to forfeit after he got caught. The Department of Justice laid it all out. He used AI to generate hundreds of thousands of songs, then used bots to play them billions of times. He was basically printing money, stealing over $8 million in royalties that should have gone to actual human artists. And the timeline of all this is just wild. It shows you how fast everything is moving, and honestly how confused the industry is. In June of 2024, you've got the big record labels hitting Suno and Udio with these massive lawsuits. Then you have this fraud case wrapping up. But then, there's Warner Music Group, who went from suing to signing a landmark partnership deal with Suno. The entire industry seems to be fighting a war and negotiating a peace treaty at the exact same time. It's messy, and it's changing constantly. So what's happening is the industry is waking up and realizing you can't put this genie back in the bottle. It's out. So the strategy is shifting. Instead of trying to ban or stop AI, the big players are now trying to control it. They're setting up new rules of engagement, and in the process, they're completely changing what it means to own and create music.
And this is a really subtle but super important change in the fine print. After that big Warner Music deal, Suno quietly updated its terms of service. It used to be that if you paid, you owned the songs you made. Not anymore. Now you get commercial use rights. So what's the difference? Well, think of it like this. You can sell copies of a photo, but you don't own the actual negative. Suno is making it clear they are the ultimate owners. That completely changes the game for what it means to create something on their platform.
And it's not just Suno either. All the big platforms are scrambling to build some guardrails here. YouTube, for example, is now making creators tell you if they used AI, and they're bringing the hammer down on anyone trying to impersonate a real artist. And Suno itself, as part of its deal, is now limiting how many songs you can download, probably to stop people from just flooding Spotify with millions of AI tracks.
So what you're seeing really is the battle lines blurring. What started as a war is turning into a series of deals. That Warner Music deal is the first huge example. It lets their artists actually opt in and license their own voices and styles to be used by the AI. Basically, what used to be seen as the enemy is now being sold as the next hot new creative tool.
And all of this forces us to ask some really fundamental questions about what art even is. You know, when a machine can make a song that fools 97% of us, what does that say about the value of human craft? What's the point of all those years of practice, of struggle, of inspiration?
Which leaves us with the one massive unanswered question hanging over all of this. Is AI the tool that finally kills the artist as we know it? Or is it the tool that creates an entirely new kind of artist we can't even imagine yet? The answer? Well, it's being written as we speak, in lines of code, in legal briefs, and in the next song you hear on the radio.